Resisting Tyranny, Parts 33 to 40, Divine Forces Turn the Tide. Xuefeng. July 16, 2025. Number 33, Wind and rain enter the battlefield. Under wicked rule, the people suffer. Demons and devils run wild across the land. The god of wind sweeps in, scattering the ruthless elites. The god of rain descends, drowning tyrants and bullies alike. Number 34, Metal and fire take the stage. Steel and thunder clash in fury, sweeping away the demonic horde. The god of fire appears, incinerating all malevolent beings. Number 35, Wood and earth reveal their power. The god of wood manifests, halting the choking sands and foul winds of tyranny. The god of earth rises, burying all filth and corruption beneath sacred soil. Number 36, the legion of fungi mobilizes. The divine legion of fungi awakens, invisible yet mighty. Shapeless and silent, they strike the wicked with karmic retribution. Those who wound and deceive the people will fall gravely ill. Those who exploit the innocent shall be imprisoned by destiny's silent hand. Number 37, the god of water unleashes power. With roaring torrents and surging waves. The god of water rises to engulf all who prey on the people. Boundless and thunderous, the currents sweep away every heartless tyrant. Number 38, the hidden king rises. The hidden king stirs and shatters the dog-hearted courage of those who trample the people. The hidden king erupts and bursts open the swine-headed skulls of those who persecute the righteous. Number 39, vengeful spirits descend. Millions of tormented souls cry out from the void, restless and unresolved. Seizing their chance to redeem themselves, they descend upon the wicked. They seize the bodies of corrupt officials, driving the regime's lackeys into madness and ruin. Number 40, the divine incantation. A land once sacred, where gods once stood watch, now trampled by devils. Though they wear human faces, they are beasts in disguise. They persecute the loyal and virtuous, and bring harm and ruin to the common people. Their crimes are too vile to name, too vast to count, too dark to forget. But now, the deities rise in unison, chanting sacred incantations to overturn heaven and earth, sweeping away the evil regime and restoring clarity to the world. The regime's accomplices are struck by strange and nameless afflictions. Its enforcers fall into endless misfortune. From the skies above to the depths below, there is nowhere left for them to hide. All wicked spirits are cast into the divine cauldron. The Samadhi fire reduces them to dust. Henceforth, China shall bask in timely wind and gentle rain. Sages and saints shall rise from among the people. Peace and joy shall fill the land. Every trade will flourish in harmony. Nations from all directions shall sing in praise. Thus is laid the foundation for 1,000 years of golden peace. Resisting Tyranny, Part 41, The Path of the Chinese People. Xuefeng. July 26, 2025. All who do not hold office are common people. There is a fundamental contradiction between officials and the people. The suffering of the people stems from officials at all levels, from the central government to local authorities. Only by sweeping away the officials can the Chinese people ever hope for a good life. Never hope for the rise of an enlightened ruler. History tells us plainly, China has never produced one. Most have been tyrants. Never fantasize that Chinese officials will serve the people. From top to bottom, few of them are decent. Everything officials say is bullshit. Believe them, and you'll not only be deceived, you'll sink deeper into suffering. Market economics will not save the people. Endless competition wears people to the bone, grinding them down until they're utterly spent. The American system of separation of powers and press freedom cannot save the people either. The cultural genes flowing in Chinese blood cannot produce a society ruled by law. Once power is divided into three branches, infighting begins. In China, once a media outlet gains influence, it will be infiltrated and controlled by power and capital. The result is mutual infighting and betrayal, fractured consciousness, and nationwide unrest. A China without officials is the only path toward a peaceful and stable life for the people. History and present reality both show, people have always been ruled by officials. As a result, many have formed a fixed idea, believing that without officials, society would fall into chaos, the people would be disorganized, and there would be no effective resistance against foreign invasion. But this is a traditional and outdated notion. Inspired by the management model of the 1,000-year world, I practiced for 17 years on Earth a mode of life and production without any officials. The results speak for themselves. This official-free mode of life and production proved to be highly successful. 98% of those who participated were deeply satisfied. This model is what Lifechanyuan calls the second home. In the second home, everyone lives according to Chanyuan values and the lifestyle model of the 1,000-year world. In this official-free mode of living, each person is both master and servant of the community, and the program operates with remarkable efficiency. There is no corruption, no theft, no waste. There is no competition, no comparison, no jealousy, and no conflict. The elderly are cared for, the young are raised with love. Harmony, peace, and warmth prevail. To enter the second home is to take the true path for the Chinese people. Why, then, is such a beautiful way of life repeatedly attacked and persecuted by the government? The answer is clear. If the people walk this joyful path, officials lose their chance to exploit, to dominate, to get rich through power. They loathe Lifechanyuan with every fiber of their being. They cannot sleep soundly unless they crush it in its cradle. Resisting Tyranny, Part 42. Police, the Dogs of Tyranny. Xuefeng. July 2, 2025. Let's begin with a simple observation. All dogs, from Tibetan Mastiffs to Poodles, are completely obedient to their masters. Whoever gives them food and shelter becomes their owner. When ordered to bite, they attack without hesitation, without asking why. Loyalty to their master is in their nature. Now look at another reality. All police officers, from special units to auxiliary squads, are likewise absolutely obedient to their superiors. Whoever pays them, hands them uniforms, police batons, and guns becomes their superior. When ordered to arrest or suppress, they follow orders without caring whether it's right or wrong. Loyalty to their superiors, this is the nature of police. Compare the two. Though dogs and police differ in appearance, their behavior is strikingly similar. Which leads us to one conclusion. Dogs are their master's police. Police are their superior's dogs. Watch a barking dog, baring its teeth at strangers, ready to lunge and bite. Watch a domineering officer, scowling at civilians, arresting and detaining at will. Take a look at the photo from April 28, 2021, during a police raid on a Lifechanyuan home in Guizhou. Chanyuan celestials were handcuffed and forced to squat on the ground. One officer pointed a gun at the back of a celestial, ready to shoot at any time. What crime did they commit to deserve this? In fact, the officers had no idea who these people were. They were just following orders. Their superiors told them to arrest, so they arrested. Told them to aim guns, so they did. Whether the victims were innocent or guilty, civilized or criminal, they didn't know and didn't care. In this sense, aren't police just like vicious dogs raised by their masters? On July 2, 2025, in a nationwide operation led by police from Linzhou, Hunan, more than 80 Chanyuan celestials were suddenly arrested, an incomprehensible act. After all, over the years, 13 of our homes had already been destroyed. Lifechanyuan no longer had any base of operation in mainland China. We had never engaged in political, religious, or public activities of any kind. Not a single Chanyuan celestial had committed any illegal act. So why now? Why stir up trouble from nothing? Why provoke chaos where there had been peace? Why push me to write this series resisting tyranny? Wouldn't it be better if we all just lived in harmony? Is it too harsh to compare police to dogs? Then look at their reasoning. In their rush to take money, they confiscated cash and seized bank cards from celestials, claiming it was all dirty money that needed to be turned in. Unbelievable. If you're going to steal, just admit it. Why disguise robbery with a noble-sounding excuse? What is dirty money? Money gained through embezzlement, bribery, theft, robbery, fraud, or other illegal means. Can you point to even a single dollar that Lifechanyuan has earned through illegal means? Where is your evidence? With logic like that, is it really unfair to call you dogs? To the police, I offer this advice. Don't think that just because you're wearing an expensive set of official dogskin, carrying a baton and a gun, you can do whatever you want and spread harm without consequence. The heavens will change. Accumulate virtue while you still can, or disaster may befall you. Resisting Tyranny, Part 43. Without resistance, we are devoured by darkness. Xuefeng. July 27, 2025. Darkness exists only where there is no light. Step into a pitch-black room and it is swallowed in shadow. Turn on a light, and the darkness vanishes instantly. Where light is, darkness cannot remain. Where darkness is, light has not arrived. The two cannot coexist. Ask yourself. Are you living in darkness, or in light? If your days are filled with joy, freedom, and happiness, then congratulations, you are living in the light. But if your life feels stifled and bitter, anxious and fearful, full of frustration and humiliation, then you are trapped in darkness. Now we must ask. Who brings this darkness into the world? Who is the source of it? The answer is clear. We do. If you are a beam of light, how could darkness surround you? If you are a mass of darkness, how could there be light? Tyranny is darkness. But tyranny is not born from nothing. It is created by individuals who themselves are devoid of light. For example, a city enforcer bullies you. You cannot fight back, so you turn your anger on someone weaker than you. That proves you are not just surrounded by darkness, you are part of it, and this world of darkness is built by people like you and that city enforcer. Or your child drinks toxic milk powder. Instead of holding those who made that toxic milk powder accountable, you take your hatred and mix it into your own food, adding harmful chemicals to vegetables and meals. That's not just darkness. That's manufacturing more darkness within darkness. Anyone who is bullied by the powerful but then goes on to bully the weak, is a maker of darkness. But those who stand up and resist the powerful when mistreated, they are the ones who carry light. If everyone had the courage to resist tyranny, things would be different. Just like in the US, where every citizen has a gun, who dares to bully them? Would police break into homes in the dead of night? Would city enforcers dare to steal a street vendor's cart? Would bosses dare delay workers' wages for months? Would thugs demand protection fees from shopkeepers? Would local bullies dare gang up and harass people? If people dared to resist, would parents dare to abuse their children? Would children dare to meddle in their parents' lives? Would principals and teachers dare to neglect their students? Would wives dare to make unreasonable trouble? Would husbands dare to beat their wives? Would officials dare to forcibly demolish homes in the name of policy? If people dared to resist, would the government dare act lawlessly? Would it dare label believers as cults to suppress them? Would it dare call freely gathered citizens, illegal organizations, and violently disperse and arrest them? If people only obeyed the constitution and laws, and had the courage to say no to unlawful government actions, would the minions of tyranny still dare to act like wolves among sheep? You hate the darkness, yet you collude with it. You swim in the filth and complain the water stinks. How can there be any shore to this sea of suffering? If you are mistreated unlawfully, you must stand and resist. If everyone waits for a hero to rise and cry for justice on their behalf, how clever, how selfish, that would be. But if everyone is that clever and selfish, who will the darkness swallow, if not you? Freedom is not gifted, it is won. No one gives it freely, especially not the officials and their minions and thugs under a tyrannical regime. Never believe that if you endure long enough, the abusers will suddenly grow a conscience and turn kind. They won't. If you don't resist, you'll live a lifetime consumed by darkness, suffering, anxiety, and fear. If you give up resistance out of fear, afraid of jail, afraid of execution, afraid your family will be implicated, then accept it, you will live and die a slave, in disgrace and humiliation. If you have no food to eat, don't go begging. Don't steal the meals of delivery riders. Don't sneak food off store shelves. Go straight to the homes of officials. And eat there. Aren't officials supposed to be the parents of the people? If they're your parents, they should feed you, it's only right. If they deny being your parents, then surely they're still the people's servants, right? And a servant's duty is to care for those they serve, including feeding them. Eating at officials' homes is not a crime. But if they refuse to care whether the people eat, then what good are they? Even pig manure can be used as fertilizer. What use are these officials? All they do is exploit the people, yet never ask if we have rice in our bowls. Such officials, even kicking them would be a waste of energy. Let every person become a light, and darkness shall vanish from the world. Resisting Tyranny, Part 44. Leading the World in Deception. Xuefeng. July 28, 2025. Under a tyrannical regime, China is world-leading in all the wrong ways. In police arresting citizens at will, with no regard for constitutional or legal procedures. In the sheer number of corrupt officials and the astronomical amounts they embezzle. In organ transplants carried out for high-ranking officials. In the size of the unemployed population. In the exodus of foreign capital, and in celebrities and billionaires fleeing the country. In the endless variety of toxic foods flooding the market. In the massive number of abandoned construction projects. In stripping citizens of basic human rights, such as the right to live, to speak, and to move freely. In ruling through fear and surveillance. In building the most impenetrable internet firewall on the planet. In the crushing costs of education, healthcare, and retirement. And among all these, one record stands alone, leaving all other nations in the dust. China leads the world in deception, fraud in every form and at every level. At the national level, the government itself is fake. A legitimate government is elected by the people. But which representative in the so-called People's Congress was actually elected by the public? Which local or central leader ever won a public vote? A government not chosen by the people is no true government. It is a counterfeit regime, a thief of the people's will. A true government serves the people. A fake one ignores their suffering. Diplomatic deception. The foreign ministry claims China is one of the safest countries in the world. Do you believe that? When primary school students, middle schoolers, university students, and young people vanish without a trace. Does that sound safe to you? Statistical deception. Do you believe any numbers released by the state? 10,000 kilos per acre, a ludicrous claim from the era of propaganda. That China's population exceeds 1.4 billion, seriously? That youth unemployment in 2025 is only 14.9%, who would believe that? Academic deception. In medicine and biology alone, over 50% of fake research papers worldwide come from China. What does that say about the credibility of Chinese science? Diploma deception. Most high-ranking officials claim to have PhDs. Yet many never spent a day studying in a university. A man with only primary school knowledge holds a doctorate. No one in their right mind, dead or alive, would believe it. With such role models, faking degrees has become standard practice. Food fraud. Is that beef jerky you're eating really made from beef? Are those beautifully bottled honeys truly made by bees? Are those supermarket eggs really laid by hens? Is that milk in your glass truly from cows? Product fraud. Are the international brands sold in China really sourced from their countries of origin? Made in China, fraud. A machine made with 80% imported parts is assembled in China. Then proudly labeled, Made in China. Is that manufacturing? Hardly. It's just Chinese assembly. Quality fraud. Do you trust the labels on your food and medicine? Can you believe what the packaging says about building materials? Are the promises in ads even remotely true? Data fraud. Is the GDP figure real? Are industry losses really losses? Are pollution levels truly within safe limits? Corporate financial fraud. Are business expenses, real estate profits, company reports, debt data, and employee salaries at all accurate? Appearance fraud. Are the screen beauties really that beautiful? Are the leaders' humble smiles truly heartfelt? Or just another act on stage? Language fraud. When they say, "The people's longing for a better life is our goal," don't you suspect what they truly mean is, "Anyone who longs for a better life is our target"? And on it goes. China's counterfeit culture is unprecedented in human history. Its scale is beyond imagination. It corrodes public morals, shatters trust, and strips away national dignity. In the end, everyone pays the price. The root of all this fraud? Tyranny. A regime that tramples the Constitution at will. A system built on lies. A government without integrity. Unless this tyranny ends, China will become a prison. And then, a hell. Resisting Tyranny, Part 45. Climbing over the wall to see the truth. Xuefeng. July 29, 2025. One cannot see the true face of Mount Lu, simply because one is inside the mountain. To truly know Mount Lu, one must first step outside of it. Use GPS when driving, and you won't take the wrong road. Use a flashlight at night, and you won't fall into a pit. Why are donkeys blindfolded when walking the mill? Because once they realize they're just going in circles, they'll stop. The Great Firewall is that blindfold. Its purpose is twofold: to block people from seeing the world beyond, and to prevent them from discovering the truth within. This makes it easier to deceive, manipulate, and control. Those who don't know the truth are easily misled, easily stirred up, easily brainwashed, easily lured, and of course, easily fooled. Who wants most to fool others? The answer is obvious: deceivers. Anyone, be it a nation, a party, a religion, a group, or a teacher. Who blocks access to information, censors the media, bans accounts, deletes posts, or forbids looking beyond the wall, is building a fortress of lies. Whatever the name, they are engaging in deception. If you don't want to be a fool, if you don't want to be deceived, then climb over the wall. See the outside world for yourself. From that perspective, look back and observe what's really happening inside. Then your mind will be clear, your path illuminated, your eyes open. And you'll see through every lie and avoid every trap. They say climbing the firewall is illegal. That's like calling a prisoner's jailbreak a crime. Yes, escaping the prison brings punishment. But what does that say? It tells us that the regime sees its people as prisoners. Think again. The regime we once believed was great, glorious, and correct has never treated its citizens as free people, but as inmates. Who wants to spend their life as a prisoner? If you don't, then climb the wall. Escape the prison. Don't expect the regime to one day find its conscience. Tear down the firewall, and grant freedom. That won't happen. When has a wolf ever spared a sheep? When has a tyrant ever truly loved the people? Climb the wall. Break through the firewall. Climb, and the dawn of freedom will shine through. Climb, and you will reach the far shore of your ideals. A practitioner does not kneel, does not become a slave. Xuefeng. July 21, 2025. Why do we practice? We practice in order to elevate the level of our life. A slave practices in order to cease being a slave and to live with human dignity. A human practices in order to escape the endless cycle of reincarnation in lower life spaces. To break free from the boundless sea of suffering. To become a celestial being, a Buddha. And to journey toward the heaven of the celestial beings. To practice is to flee suffering. To practice is to shatter the chains of control. To practice is to rise, to never again kneel before slave masters or rulers. To break through the realm of necessity and blaze a path to the kingdom of freedom. To practice is to cast off all chains and ultimately journey toward the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. If the flesh binds me, I abandon the flesh. If friends bind me, I sever friendship. If family binds me, I am no longer family. If experts and professors bind me, I treat them like chamber pots. If masters and guides bind me, keep your masters and guides, I want none of them. If the state binds me, what use is your state to me? If the government binds me, go to hell, you bastard machine. A true practitioner bows only to the Buddha, to the greatest creator, to the Tao, and to the laws of the universe, never to the will of man. The only rightful reason for any government to exist is to serve the people, not to bind them. So why do you shackle the people? Let all things be done by the Constitution and the law, how simple that would be. To the people, what is not forbidden by law is permitted. To the government, what is not authorized by law is forbidden. But when governments violate the Constitution, trample on justice, and persecute the people at will, what use are they? They are not merely useless, they become machines of suffering, injustice, and tragedy. To kneel before such a regime, is that not to choose slavery of your own accord? A practitioner does not kneel. A practitioner does not become a slave. And if I do not kneel, if I do not become a slave, what can you do to me? Imprison me? Torture me? Kill me? But a man who cannot live with dignity no longer desires to cling to this world. I have endured countless times, yet you have never awakened. When it comes to creating peace for the people, you are powerless. When it comes to harming them, you are unmatched. If I am to be harmed or killed by your hands, so be it. Such a death will mark the perfect punctuation to a practitioner's path. In the end, it will be clear, who is rewarded, who is judged. To die for reverence, for the greatest creator. For life. For nature. To walk the way of the greatest creator. To seek truth, kindness, beauty, love, faith, and sincerity. That is death with meaning. If there is no divine justice, then what is life for? If there is divine justice, then the practitioner shall ascend to heaven. What, then, is there to fear in death? A practitioner never seeks death. A practitioner does not harm, does not destroy. For we revere life and cherish all breath. But if death comes in the pursuit of a beautiful life, A life of joy, freedom, happiness, and heaven. Then so be it. Death is not to be feared. Let the barbarians live, if they must. Let the civilized fall. Go on living, like maggots writhing in a cesspit of shit and piss, crawl on. Here and now, the practitioner declares to the entire universe. A practitioner shall never kneel before barbarians, nor ever choose to become their slave. 16 problems humanity cannot solve. Xuefeng. July 18, 2025. For thousands of years, humanity has failed to resolve the following 16 chronic afflictions. The arbitrariness of power. The corruption of officials. The selfishness of human nature. The greed of the heart. Unrestrained sexual desire. Discrimination between kin and strangers. The suffering of disease and war. Class conflict. The persistence of theft. The bondage of marriage. Family discord. Gambling and speculation. Territorial disputes. The widening gap between rich and poor. The rise of tyrants. The lack of freedom to migrate. Who can heal these 16 deep-rooted ills that block humanity's path to true civilization? Do not look back into history searching for someone who has solved them. You will not find such a person. Who dares to claim both the courage and wisdom to resolve all 16? Only the way of the greatest creator, only the path of Lifechanyuan, can bring resolution to these problems. Having thoughts is a crime under totalitarian rule. Xuefeng. July 16, 2025. If you have committed no crime, yet the rulers still monitor you day and night, or even imprison you, then congratulations, you are a true human being in the fullest sense. Under totalitarian rule, the moment you begin to pursue a beautiful life, the moment you form your own views and independent thoughts, you are guilty. The regime will move quickly to control you, fearing that you may become someone it can no longer restrain. If your life remains calm under totalitarian rule, though your stomach is empty and your days are bitter, and the authorities turn a blind eye to you, it means you have no thoughts, no aspirations. You are merely a shell, a body without spirit. This is easy to understand. Imagine raising a group of pigs and dogs. One day, some of them begin to form their own ideas and develop goals of their own. You would feel uneasy. You would worry, will they become human? Will they challenge your authority? In such a case, it is not hard to understand why you might harbor the urge to eliminate the disobedient ones. In the eyes of a totalitarian ruler, the people are expected to be pigs and dogs, without mind, without spirit, without purpose. A pig that doesn't want to be a pig is not a good pig. A dog that doesn't want to be a dog is not a good dog. If any pig or dog begins to speak differently or act unusually, immediate control measures are put in place, around-the-clock surveillance, instant arrest at the first sign of deviation. And when necessary, the order is simple: eliminate without mercy. Thus it becomes clear. Under totalitarian rule, those who are monitored, suppressed, arrested, or persecuted are people, true human beings. And those favored, praised, and protected by the regime are, for the most part, pigs and dogs, those who have been fully tamed. Those who do not understand Lifechanyuan are like frogs at the bottom of a well. Xuefeng. July 30, 2025. In this world, the ceiling of economics is Friedrich Hayek. In philosophy, it is Ludwig Wittgenstein. In the realm of thought, it is Adam Smith. Among the widely read, it is Yang Peng. In the business world, it is Elon Musk. In politics, it is the Iron Lady of Britain, Margaret Thatcher. Yet all of these so-called top-tier figures are nothing more than elementary school students before Lifechanyuan. And as for everyone else, including all presidents, whether living or dead, they are essentially frogs at the bottom of a well in comparison to Lifechanyuan. The only exceptions are true scientists and craftsmen. Does this hurt your pride or vanity? Want to curse me? Go ahead, your insults mean nothing. If you curse me, you're still a frog in the well. If you think you're not, show me your strength and let's compete. Can you gather 100 strangers, of different beliefs, backgrounds, and ages? Have them eat from one pot, and live together in peace and harmony? If you can, I'll salute you. If not, you're still a frog in the well before me. Can you create a living environment with no theft? Where people don't bother to lock their doors at night or pick up lost items off the ground? I can. Can you ensure women never have to do housework again? The elderly enjoy their later years without spending a cent. Children fully enjoy the innocence and joy of childhood. And young and middle-aged people live every day with joy and fulfillment. I can. Can you inspire 100 people to labor enthusiastically every day, without receiving a single penny in salary or bonus, just to serve their boss? I can. Can you build a community without a single official, yet everyone works of their own accord and everything remains in perfect order? I can. Can you foster an environment where women constantly praise one another with no jealousy? Can men encourage one another without conflict or judgment? I can. With no constitution, no laws, no commandments or regulations. Can you guide a group of people to live in harmony with nature, with each other, and with society? I can. Can you enable someone to possess nothing, and yet have everything? I can. Let these 8 criteria be your test. If you think you're not a frog in the well, step forward and demonstrate your ability. No matter how profound a theory, it should ultimately serve humanity. No matter how flawless a law, it must uphold human dignity and basic rights. No matter how deep the wisdom, it should solve the actual problems people face. Otherwise, whether theory, law, wisdom, or even supernatural abilities, they are nothing more than the croaks of frogs at the bottom of a well, and the shadowboxing of praying mantises.